Check, check, check. 1 2 1 2. Check 1 2. Check 1 2 1 2. Hello, welcome or welcome back. I am your most illustrative host, Michael DiNicola. Welcome to the stream. You see my hand here. I am here for your illustrative pleasure or displeasure, depending on the stream. As always, I'd like to start off my stream by thanking my patrons, my Twitch subscribers, my YouTube members, my Discord friends, like Matthew here. Hello, hello. Getting a little bit of a late start to the day here, Matt.
Yeah, I gotta do a stream at 1 and I saw you popped on, so I wanted to at least say hi.
Yeah, man, I didn't sleep so great last night, man, so I took a nap, which in hindsight, not the best idea, because now I'm just like, I'm in that like la la land.
Hit full REM sleep?
Yeah, like you ever have that sleep where like you go too deep in the sleep?
Yeah, to the point where like your body, it just was so dead that you're now recuperating from being asleep.
Yes, exactly. It did the exact opposite of rejuvenate.
That's why I don't nap, because that's like every nap I take, I wake up and I feel just like sluggish.
The thing is, if you're gonna nap, you're right, you gotta do like a 20-30 minute nap, like tops.
Yeah, that dude, that Jocko dude, he said 10-minute power nap and elevate your leg.
Yeah, I could see that. I could totally see that. Cause yeah, no, the naps I take, they're too damn long, baby.
How long are we talking?
Well, dude, I think I crashed for like an hour and a half.
Man, an hour and a half is like half of my normal night's sleep.
I know, I did, but that wasn't my intention. Yeah, I got up.
Yeah, I mean, but you needed it though. Like, are you under the weather at all, or is it just didn't sleep right?
I just didn't sleep right last night, and then I was, doing a bunch of errands. Doing a bunch of errands around the house, and then like around like 10 o'clock, I'm like, oh, you know what, man? I usually gotta prep. I prep for stream around like 11:30. Let me try to get a nap in. And of course, I lay down, and my body's like, we don't nap, bitch.
One of the worst things that I do by accident is like I'll have something to do, like I'll have a stream at 1 or I'll have whatever, and I'll sit down at like 12:20 in my chair, and at 12:40 get tired and fall asleep for 10 minutes. And it's like, it's terrible. It's the worst. Like, I hate it. I hate when it happens.
Interesting. You fall asleep. Man, you must be tired, dude. I only fall asleep in my chair when I'm exhausted.
Yeah, I don't sleep very well in general. So like, if my body
What's up, Praetor?
is like, if I'm running hot, I'm running good. But there's those times where like you let your body and mind rest, and it's just, it takes advantage of it.
See, this is what we get for resting. Punished.
I know. You just got to keep keeping.
What's up, Praetor?
That's why the old diet of cocaine and aspirin helps.
Cocaine.
So what you do is you crunch up the aspirin with the cocaine.
Oh, I see. Just to take the edge off.
Mm-hmm. You need something for the numbing agent too. You gotta get that blood a little thinner so the coke runs through you.
Sounds great to me. What are you streaming later today? What's the game plan, Matt?
Arma 3. It's Military Sim Thursday. We always do Arma on Thursdays.
Excellent.
Probably gonna die several times and have to be revived, so that's.
I feel like I've seen some excellent armor clips on TikTok and the various other platforms.
Well, the game itself is cool, but the only reason it still exists is because the modding community.
Oh, and yeah.
So
they're screwing with it.
Earthbound hooked me up with his guys, and they build their own missions and everything. So like, every day we stream Arma, it's a custom built mission that they place the AI, they place the objectives, like everything.
Oh.
And I've been begging them to do a Starship Trooper.
Yeah, fight the bugs.
Oh, dude, there's actually an old Starship Troopers first-person shooter from like 2002 that is abandonware that you can download for free at websites and play it. It's actually not terrible. I mean, for its time.
Right. Well, it is abandonware.
You'd be surprised. I finally have collected all of the James Bond games because you can't buy any of them because of licensing. I've gotten all of the modern ones. Quantum of Solace, 007 Legends, Bloodstone, because I like James Bond games. It's a weird tick I have. In my private life, I like to be Bond.
Right. And is it because whatever game studio made these Bond games way back when, their ability to sell that game, it probably ends, right?
It's all about license.
Yeah, because they only have a small window of time.
Yep.
Where they have access to the James Bond.
Yeah.
Name.
And the other thing is that was also back in the day where, like, you got to remember EA had a monopoly on Bond games for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And then they went to, I think, Activision or another studio, then another studio, and then this studio made Golden, and yeah. So each one of those studios, you know, after whatever amount of time, and I think Bloodstone, which is the last James Bond game, is the only, I think it's like the true last one, and it's the only one made by the one company. Like, it's the licensing around the video games is as stupid as the licensing around the movies.
I was gonna say, I'm like, it sounds exactly the reason why Sony has to churn out a Spider-Man movie every 2 years or else.
Yep, basically, yeah. It's one of those things where it's like, you want to keep, like, look at Night of the Living Dead. They didn't renew and put in the proper wording or whatever in Night of the Living Dead's copyright, and that's why it's public domain now.
That'll do it.
Yeah, but that's what we're doing. I had to go out with the wife because we're going camping tomorrow, and I had to do the shopping for the weekend and the next week for everybody in the house, and then we had to go get tarps for the tents, and then we had to get fluids for my vapes, and I got weed yesterday, so that's
next week. Camping with Nicole Gonzalez.
This weekend, man. Tomorrow.
Yo.
Actually,
whoa, tomorrow.
Yeah. They're staying the 7th through the 9th, and we're staying.
Jeez Louise, that's such a busy week.
Yeah, no, holy shit.
What's up?
We're filming a prequel to the horror movie we filmed last year.
When did you guys film it?
We don't talk about her. That was filmed at Starved Rock. We're gonna film it again, and in this one, it's where I actually kill her.
Is there a?
It's a little eerie considering that, like, what, a year ago that a documentary came out with the Starved Rock killer murders.
Well, don't worry about that, because in another year you'll have the Matt Starved Rock documentary come out. Killed his wife.
Wait, what is that? Starbrock? What the hell? It sounds like a
Starved Rock State Park. It's a state park.
Like,
Starved,
no food.
Yeah. It's an old.
Hungry.
I think it's a translation from a Native American. But it's Starved Rock State National Park. That's where we go camping.
High toxic.
And there was a bunch of murders that went on there in that area.
Whoa, when was
like
this?
Bro, Starved Rock
70s, 60s, I feel
Starved
like.
Rock is one of those places that I guarantee you, like, yeah, this documentary's out about these murders. I get the feeling it's one of those places where, like, husbands lost their wives in the woods. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think the 70s was a dark era for Starved Rock. Yeah, Starved Rock State National Park, right, Tor?
Right.
I see what you're saying. Yeah, just like on.
We were walking on this trail, and they are hazardous.
Oh yeah.
She just fell.
I've heard that one before. The old. Yeah, sure. Yeah, we took a cruise, and then she got up in the middle of the night, wanted to go for a walk, and I never saw her again.
She wanted to be on the deck, and overboard she went, and I was drunk too. I wasn't jumping in.
Yeah, I turned around, she was gone, and that's it.
Yeah, the old, like, she was on the trail with me.
Yeah. Yeah.
But so the first movie is basically like a vlog of me doing the Starved Rock stuff, and like going through a little vlog of my adventures, and in the end, I get kind of wiped out in mysterious circumstances. So I'm gonna film this one this weekend. Is gonna take place. The ending of this next one is gonna be the beginning of the first one. If that makes sense, it's gonna be a true prequel to where, like, the ending of this one leads right up to the beginning of the next one.
Rogue One style.
Fuck yeah.
Darth Vader's gonna show up in the forest.
In a horror movie? Yeah, if let me hear. If it's cool with Mike, I'll link my YouTube.
Go for it.
Yeah, here.
Nah, it ain't cool.
You say not ain't
Star
cool.
of Rock, Star of Rock State National Park. Praetor, have you been there?
Yeah, it's. I didn't realize when we started going how many people like have been and like Star. When I started going, I'd never been camping. It was when I first started dating my wife over 13 years ago. And then I loved it.
They got really cool, like, caves. Like, you get to, like, adventure out and shit, but that's exactly how shit goes down, right? You're like, oh, look, you have access to these areas. And then either you make it out or not.
Yeah, the
but also, like,
do get
those
gnarly.
murders that happen, murders, whatever well, they were murders because of the the way they found their bodies. But
Murder.
I would never go hiking in the wintertime. Like,
No.
there's no fucking way.
That's a bad idea. Just
It
in
is
general.
a very bad idea. Yeah.
Yeah, because people get, like, there are, I mean, you know, lots of storms can be anticipated. However, shit happens, man. Bad weather strikes. There are unforeseen consequences to just doing this stuff. People slip and fall, and depending on how remote you are in a national park, you might be completely fucked. And if you don't have the exact right supplies needed,
also, like, what it's you gotta always worry about the freak accidents, right? Like, I always think, like, if you're hiking by yourself and you slip down the trail and you fucking compound fracture your leg, right? Your average person will not have the strength, especially nowadays, to hurl their body up the trail to get to safety.
Exactly.
Fortunately, there is cell signal out there. Depending, like, when we had Sprint, it was terrible.
Right.
Now that we're on T-Mobile, we actually have signals, so, like, there is that. You're not... The area itself's also getting much more populated because they're bringing more industry and shit to it, which kind of sucks because I love it because it's not populated. I love it because it's small town Utica, Illinois.
Now with these murders, they've never been more sexy.
Look, I'm not admitting anything, but I've been going for 13 years and I haven't been murdered. Just saying.
Yeah.
No, but that's because nobody wants to fuck with somebody who looks like me. Like, they see me, they assume I'm the scary local.
Nikki, is that true?
Beard and everything. Well, when she first saw me, she said she pissed. She was like, I don't want to.
She pissed her panties a little bit.
Draining.
You get lost, end up having to eat a person, then become some big hairy beast. Murders that starved
rock.
rock.
I became me. I ate somebody became a big hairy beast.
Yeah. Matt has
the cold day 10 years ago.
Matt has the curse of the Wendigo because he consumed human flesh.
Hey, you know, when you're hungry, you're hungry. And sure, I had burgers, but that person smelled delicious. Oh, it's an HBO show, huh?
Yeah, it's on HBO.
HBO thing. Man, I've been watching so many HBO documentaries. How did I not watch this one already?
What's up, KG? I was yawning. That came out when I had, I think my gallbladder removed, and I saw it, and I was like, oh shit.
And I have to watch it.
Yeah, I would recommend it. Probably did not. I mean, I blew through it.
We should watch it while we're camping.
There you go.
Yep.
Oh, so we are bringing the iPad, and we do get signal, so we're planning on also when we're chilling around the fire watching some horror movie.
Oh.
As long as you girls are okay with it. I know Chanel and Jen might be a little sketchy.
This is true.
Old Lukey Poo.
Yeah, Luciano.
Yeah, the Lucrettes. Does she not like horror movies?
No, she doesn't like anything horror in general.
She's also not a fan of the whores. The whores. I did complete the Woodstock documentary. I've watched like 3 different Woodstock 99 documentaries. I love them.
Every time I see a trailer for one of those,
every time,
I think how horrible that must have been.
Dude, you know what's the scariest fucking thing? Let's really think.
No
about
water.
It. Those pieces of shit that were rioting and burning it down run the country now.
Yeah.
If you were 25, 30, and 99, you're presumably 50 or so. So like 45, 50, like you're running this shit. You're the people in charge, the same people that burn shit down.
Yeah, I mean, that's always the way, man. You know, the fucking peace and love hippies are now the ones, you know, then are now the ones that run the country now. That's just the way of it.
There's no hippies. Well, I mean, the former hippies who are now all about that corporate life.
Exactly. All those fucking boomers who are like, peace and love, man, peace and love. You know.
Fucking CEOs at Chase Bank right now.
Yeah. They...
Oh, you need a loan, do you, for a house? By the way, love and power.
Hippies.
I don't know, man. The hippies are worse than what people think because the hippies made the generation that made us, you know what I mean? Like, it all trickles down. The boomers, the greatest generation gets a lot of fucking, like, we're the greatest generation.
But look what they did.
Yeah, you also raised a lot of fucked up people, which then raised a lot more fucked up people, that's why we're here.
And now we have Gen Z.
Yeah, and they have more genders than Baskin Robbins has flavor.
Yeah, what's the... I wonder what the generation that comes after Gen Z is.
it's gonna be
those kids are gonna be nuts.
Annihilation. It's the fucking freaks from Fallout 3. We're going right there.
Because
I can't remember what they call the Scorched.
I remember my friends' kids when they were like 4 and 5. This is like just a couple of years ago. Interacting with Alexa. She'd be like, Alexa, call upstairs or whatever to like get their mom's attention who was up there.
Oh yeah, because they use them as intercoms now.
They use them, well, yeah. Listen, they've got a decent enough sized house. Why not? Rather than just scream upstairs to your mom.
But like, all right. So that brings a point to like even kids who have full on families, they still get ignored by their. It's like, if you're in a household where your main mode of contact is Alexa, check in on this room.
Yeah.
You got problems.
I feel like that's just human laziness, man. It's the modern day equivalent of yelling down or yelling upstairs to your parents, or what my mom used to do is when I was outside, she would scream out the apartment window to get my attention as I was fucking around outside the building.
But I love that though. That's
right.
Character of people right
there, but that's now, Alexa, I don't want to trigger this fucking thing, but contact the
Alexa,
basement.
Donkey balls.
Yeah, no, but I get it, dude. If I was a kid upstairs in the bedroom, the second floor, and I want to get my dad's attention, who's fucking around in the basement, I'm gonna fucking
Yeah, although my dad was the type where we didn't yell up and down. We went to them because if we did, we got beat. Who the fuck do you think you're yelling at?
No, my house was basically just shouting from room to room. But even then, we were in an apartment. So was it? So you could shout from anywhere and be heard.
You had a mixture of shouts from all the floors too.
Yeah.
When you lived living in an apartment, is it? I've only been in houses, but it's been white trash houses. So like, is apartment living very community? Like, do you have that neighborhood community, or are you just like, I don't really care who the guy next door to me is? I don't ever need to see him.
Used to be. So when I was a kid, I remember. We're talking early 90s from what I can remember, or not even early 90s. I distinctly remember my parents being friendly with there were a handful of, greatest generationers around, and folks my parents' age that they were friends with, that they had like active friendships with. So they knew, like walking around the building, I knew, oh, that's Mrs. So-and-so. That's and you say, oh, hi, hi, doctor, or whatever, like you knew what people's occupations were, you knew their cats and dogs names, you knew what floor they were living. Oh, that's that's Mr. Brown from 4E. Like it was once upon a time in New York, it was that. And I remember a little bit of that growing up, but then I don't know, the late 90s come, 2000s come, most of them die off, the rest move away, and then where it is now, you just you don't quite know anybody anymore, I would say, unless you specifically make it your business to know your next door neighbor. But for the most part, yeah, no. However many buildings are in this apartment, I have no idea who the fuck is in them.
Like, we had the life of like, okay, this is our block. Our block has this neighbor who's nosy and thinks they run the block. It's an old World War II vet.
Right.
They've got, one of my neighbors was an old woman from Arkansas that was actually the cousin of the wrestler Sid Vicious.
Oh shit.
She survived polio as a kid.
Jesus.
The woman worked at Namco. To this day, we have old school arcade Namco chairs that she gave us years ago.
Dope.
She would come over and just give us like a little bucket full of Namco tokens. It was great. And so we did have like our little, like, man with two brains, Alex, he lived on the block, his family, like it was great. And then gentrification came in and you had people move, disgustingly expensive houses come in, which then brought in the disgustingly rich people, and they had their own proclivities. And now I live on the south side, and neighbors we basically just don't look at each other.
Yeah.
Like my across the street neighbors, like we wave hi and shit like that, but like I couldn't tell you more than 3 people on this block.
Yeah, well, I mean, maybe that's just the way I guess that's just the way it went for everybody then, not just people in apartments.
Nobody likes anybody anymore.
Yeah.
COVID took that out of us. COVID took the social element out of us. And now if you are social, it's because you can't take not being.
You know, I read somewhere when all that was starting, the lockdowns and everything, and work from home, and a bunch of economists and others were chiming in saying this was always going to happen. Like, our society was slowly creeping to this. All COVID did was just up the timeline.
Here's the thing is I probably wouldn't disagree with that theory, but the issue is look at the bounce back. Look at the bounce back. People have had that pushback towards and look at companies. I thought at the beginning of COVID when everybody was going to work from home, I said that too. I was like, this is the way the future is going to be. Nobody's going to be working in offices. And look at every goddamn company realized, hey, we're paying rent or we built this big building. Get your asses back in the office.
Well, some did. Some said, hey, we built this big office building, or we were renting this giant office building, and you guys are being as productive as at home as you were in the office. This is a fucking ridiculous amount of overhead. We're getting rid of the office, or we're drastically downsizing the office. Bunch of
big companies like Google and shit go straight up, like no more, like you can work from home no matter what now.
A lot of companies did. Well, I mean, think about it, Matt. If you're running a business and everybody goes work from home because they have to, and then you're looking at the numbers, you're looking at productivity numbers, you're looking at everything else, and you're seeing that you're getting the good stuff, maybe even better stuff out of your employees if they work from home. Then why would you spend however much money renting out a business? Like, it's
what's really fucked up is like my brother works for a big company.
Yeah.
I won't name, but it rhymes. Yeah, fuck, it rhymes with sales. And they basically said you guys don't have to come back, because what they did was like they do have the office space, but they turned everything into communal. Like you don't have your own desk. It's just those like long tables where you plug your laptop and shit into. And he said that they made it so informal going into the office that he would frankly just work from home.
Oh, I see.
Like he made it seem like now you show up and you find an empty space and you do your work, and like I don't know, I'm kind of a traditionalist where like if I'm working in an office, I'd like to have my own workspace, shit like that. And from what he said, they've turned it into more of just like, hey man, sit anywhere. This is where you're gonna sit for the day. Like,
I saw that. I actually saw a TikTok of a girl going into her quote unquote office, because some companies are doing this now, which is it's work from home 3 out of 5 days a week, but 2 days a week you got to be in the office. So then she was recording what her quote unquote office looks like during the week, and because people take different days and to come into the office, it was her, one other person on an entire empty floor of cubicles, just out and about.
Which I'm not gonna lie, that kind of would be heaven. Like, I'm social, but could you imagine like you have to go in the office and you got the whole fucking thing to yourself though?
Yeah, it's just fucking nothing.
It's not bad. That's like you're home away. You're home from school and everyone else is at work.
Yeah, going to school. School's empty. It was very it was very zombie movie.
Yeah, maybe it's a little macabre. Oh fuck, I gotta go. If you're still going in a couple hours, man, I will rejoin for sure.
Okay, baby.
Bye, Maddie.
Bye, Matthew.
I will talk to you later tonight, Nikki. We gotta get meals and shit figured out, of course.
Oh, meals. You guys
going camping, bro.
You guys getting MREs?
Fuck no, we're getting eggs and breakfast shit, and we're doing a potluck Saturday or Sunday.
You're not getting the Alex Jones the Alex Jones survival kit special?
What you need the Alex Jones brain fuel. You won't have
I don't
to
know
eat
if
for
we're gonna
36
partake
hours.
on that potluck because we gotta leave Sunday. That's the only thing. But we'll talk about it more later.
Here's the thing: it's Saturday night, and you guys don't have to make anything. I'll be making potluck. It's up to you if you want to join, but you're more than invited, clearly. But I will talk to you guys in a few.
Later, buddy.
Okay.
Bye.
I live in a nice neighborhood, but I don't talk or want to talk. Don't talk to or want to know anyone, because most of them will probably end up pissing me off later. That's actually a bit of advice that I received from a couple of friends, and a couple of strangers have offered similar advice, basically saying that when you're a homeowner, you need to be very, very careful about who you get chummy with.
Chummy?
Yes. Because you never know who these people really are. And if you get if you get a little too friendly with some of your neighbors who end up being complete weirdos, and God forbid you end up pissing them off, now you have a neighbor who's a complete asshole towards you, and you have to live with that person for God knows how long, perhaps even for as long as you own that property. So their advice was just don't even, just skip the whole skip that whole thing. Don't chance having a crazy neighbor by you that, just be friendly-ish, be nice, but don't befriend your neighbor, because that could blow up in your face. It will take a while before it shakes out. Oh, I see. Most of them will end up pissing me off. The office downsizing thing doesn't work because they own the building and long-term leases. It will take a while before it shakes out. The open office with low cubes was a trend before the pandemic. Certain places like the IRS, they mostly remote work. They only have to be in the office 1 or 2 days per week, and they share cubes. Sharing equals rotate. Yeah. Thank you for shouting out, nerd, Nikki. Best to move to the wilderness. My parents have neighbors that they've known for 40 years. They know most of them, and everyone loves each other in a non-gay way. There's one bad couple, but everyone hates them. I'd rather live in the country myself. Well, that's my friend did. My friend, she's from Queens. She married my other friend. They got married. And he lived in Nantucket, in a little community out there. Nantucket, off, where the fuck is Nantucket? Massachusetts? Anyway, I think it's in the Northeast somewhere. They moved to Vermont. They moved to like that Bennington area of Vermont. It's not hyper remote, but it's pretty rural out there. 10 minute drive to get the groceries kind of thing. Nearest neighbors miles away. They went full remote. They restored a very old house. Had its own kind of little like secondary like mini house that they turned into I don't know what the fuck they turned it into. But yeah, no, this is during the pandemic. They just said, fuck New York City. We don't want to live like this anymore. We're getting out. And they did. They hit the road and then they love it. But to be honest, man, I don't know if I could deal with that kind of solitude. I kind of like stuff around. I like exploring, man. I like checking places out, seeing what's up. People can be awesome. Like sometimes it's nice knowing people, but listen, also people generally also can mean conflict. The thing is, you never know if the person that you are befriending or dealing with is going to be a nice person that you're going to be friends with. It's a roll of the die, right? You can meet somebody, a coworker, a neighbor, who knows, just to make a new friend, a fellow Twitch streamer, and they could be great. They could be a person who you'll be friends with for years, like me and Nicole Gonzalez. They could be your buddy for a very long time. Or you could befriend somebody who's a real dickhead, and you won't know it. The dickhead won't even begin to show until like however long. Hey, Matilda's here. Matilda.
Oh boy.
Do we want to get into Matilda on voice chat, Nicole Gonzalez?
Yeah. I have my nephew with me, so I'm kind of on and off right now. Sorry.
Oh, your sister or brother's child?
Yeah, my brother. He is the cutest thing that won't stop farting. So I had to like change his diaper like 2 seconds ago.
That's funny. How old is he?
He just hit 2 months. Let me see if I could. You want to see Mike? Mike's a weirdo though. Let's see if I could bring him up here. There he is.
Oh wow, look at that. What a cutie. It looks like a white baby.
Yeah. My sister-in-law is pretty white. He didn't like that. He did not like that.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, Nikki's got a newborn on her body. Adorable. Man, that thing's brain is definitely developing. That's why living in a townhouse condo apartments suck, because too many randoms around you, too many ghetto shits around me. In my experience, though, the craziest worst neighbor seems to be the one who also lives in the country. I think they get into the mindset of, I'm out here by myself on purpose, so I'm going to do what I want. Whereas in the city, people for the most part realize they have to get along in order to survive. I have high standards and people are bound to disappoint me. I've written off a ton of people as I get older, leaving me with few friends. Yeah, no, I see what you're saying, Yoji. People can and do disappoint. And I guess it just depends on what your ceiling for disappointment are. I'm pretty lenient because I know
I like the less number, quality versus quantity.
Sure. Yeah, I get that. I completely understand wanting to limit your friend group. I've written off a ton of people as I get older. Yeah, that's true. People outside the city limits can be seriously weird. She's cheating on you. Have you ever seen videos of people in the country freaking out about their driveways, regardless of their justification? Wait, what? What are you talking about? Their driveways, Praetor? I've seen, I mean, there was a brief moment of time where on TikTok, I was exposed to the crazy neighbor TikTok. And it's pretty, terrifying, to be honest. Some people's neighbors are nuts. Basically just slightly stopping short of outright attacking their neighbor's property. I've seen neighbors throwing garbage across over the fence. I've seen neighbors taking their garden hose to the camera of their other neighbors. Neighbors obviously screaming at each other. Just awful, horrible shit. Quality versus quantity. People have died on me. Oh, speaking of dying, yeah, I think yesterday the news broke about Master Kim, Kim Jong-gi, dying, age 47. It seemed like he had a heart attack. Rest in peace, Master Kim. It was really funny. I was talking about this last night with John Amore and Dave Tran, and how looking at the comments on Kim Jong-gi's Instagram account, it was like looking at the Avengers lineup. It was every artist from just about every industry you can think of paying their respects to the man. It was really beautiful. I likened it to in the 90s when they killed Superman. They had like this like quadruple page spread in like the pullout in the the giant special edition issue. I think it was a poster actually that folded out, and it was somebody had drawn like every single hero in the DC universe attending the funeral. That's kind of how it felt like yesterday on social media. Whether it was animators, concept artists, I mean like legends in their field. Jim Lee, for example, that caliber of person. Jim Lee wrote on Kim Jong-gi's Instagram, "I will miss you more than words can say," which is such a beautiful thing to write to someone. Very sad. I've seen way more tweets and posts about Kim Jong-gi than have for any other artist in recent years. It's kind of crazy, and I think it just shows how inspirational he was, how much he touched all artists. And the funny thing is about, you know, he clearly inspired thousands, tens of thousands, maybe even hundreds of thousands of illustrators, not just new ones, but also clearly seasoned his peers. From what everyone says who's met him, he was a nice and humble guy. I actually watched an interview of him yesterday. He was talking about how his wife loves watching YouTube, and she stumbled across a YouTube interview of him, and she was watching it, and he wanted to immediately get out of the room because he was so embarrassed about the way he speaks. Like, he, you know, that classic thing where you don't like your own voice, you don't like listening to yourself talk or watching yourself. And then he said his kids were in the room and they started kind of teasing him about it. It was just like this really sweet, endearing moment. It just felt, the guy felt genuine. He felt sincere, kind. What I did last night was I took out my Kim Jong-gi book. They're expensive, so I only had one. I think it was $120. It's the collection of his nude art. It's the cover of it is made in a skin-like texture. I can't show you guys because many of the images are too lewd for these platforms I'm on. So I've had this book for a few years now, and I've had the opportunity to meet Kim Jong-gi. Not often, but a handful of times. I've been at a convention where he's been at, or I've been attending a convention where he's at. And I think it's been 2 or 3 New York City Comic Cons where I would say to myself, oh, you know what? I got to bring that book, because what Kim Jong-gi would do is, if you had his book, you could wait in line, and he would autograph and do a little drawing in your book as a way of showing thanks. So his line was always super long. But the last few years I was working at New York City Comic Con, so I didn't really have the opportunity to kind of lug a 5-pound, at least it feels like it weighs 5-pound book to the convention, wait in line, get it signed. And, you know, when you're tabling, you got a lot of stuff to do. You can't just kind of bail. You know, listen, the show's not cheap. So other times like at C2E2, MegaCon, I've been at the show where he's been there, and I thought, fuck, same thing. You know what? Listen, you know, I'll put it off for now, but you know, he's a young guy. He's probably, listen, Stan Lee was doing conventions into his 90s, right? So I figured, you know what? I've got plenty of time to get Kim Jong-gi's autograph and meet the guy. And I was actually, weirdly enough, this is the first New York City Comic-Con I'm not going to, so I thought maybe I could borrow a pass from a friend. I got a bunch of friends that are tabling, and maybe this is the year, right? No table. I could just go as a normie, and this was going to be the year where I was going to get Kim Jong-gi to finally sign his book, which is a sad, because now my book will forever remain unsigned. But I think that's I feel like there's a lesson there, right? Not to procrastinate, right? Because if I had just taken the time, right? If I had just made, you know, say, hey, Kate, or whoever I was tabling with, watch my table for an hour or so. I'm gonna go see if I can get an autograph signed at the Jung-Ji booth. So let it be a reminder to don't push things off. Don't wait. Tomorrow's not guaranteed. Tomorrow is not a guarantee. And you know who seemed like they never pushed anything off? Fucking Kim Jong-gi himself. He's one of the most prolific illustrators I've ever seen in my entire life. That man worked. That man worked like crazy. Kim did some drawing for some books, but nothing like comic. He did covers. He was supposedly working on or planning a comic type book. This year's New York City Comic Con is stacked. In the past month, they've signed up a lot of people, a lot of actors. I skipped on meeting Stan because I was part of the Jack Kirby camp, and then he passed and I regretted it. I was going to skip Baltimore at the end of the month, but I might go. I saw a sign and sketchbook on eBay. It got sold out real quick after Kim Jong-gi passed. Yeah, my friend Ryan, he did. He took the time. But like my friend Ryan got his book signed by Jung-ji and got a beautiful illustration done. But that's the thing. Ryan and I were at the same convention. But you know, the difference was that he took the time to bring his book, took the time to wait in line and get it signed, and I was just being a lazy fuck. And now it's bitten me in the butt. Skull bash.
Yo yo.
Yo yo yo. Do you have one of Master Kim's drawings in any of your books?
Yes, I do.
See? Skull Bash did it.
But I didn't wait in line though. I had somebody else do it for me.
Oh, you motherfucker.
Hi, Eric.
Hey, Nikki.
Well, Cusper, you're probably at your table, right?
Well, that year, at New York Comic Con, so my friend got it for me at San Diego Comic Con, so I wasn't able to go there. But I met him in New York Comic Con. Last year, I gave him my sketchbook, and he like geeked out over it. And I was just like, "Holy shit!"
Nice guy.
Yeah, the master acknowledges.
Yeah, what a beautiful soul. And now he's dead.
Yeah, man. God died yesterday.
I said, yeah, it's so funny. I said Superman died yesterday.
I forget who posted that. They said that this is like the artist's equivalent of Superman's death.
Wow, what the fuck? I made that analogy, man. I just now made it. I said it felt like the 90s special edition comic where all the superheroes were carrying Superman's casket. Because I said that in relation to looking at his Instagram posts and seeing a legendary illustrator from every walk of life. So like from animators to Jim Lee to concept guys, just other fine artists to James G. Like, you know, just like you name the artist that you love. You name the artist who's in their own right extraordinary.
Yep.
Paying their respects to Master Kim. And you know, it's just shocking. I'm not gonna say who, but John has a Filipino friend, and apparently this person was very fucking flippant about Master Kim's death. Really dismissive about his death. Kind of just like, man, whatever. Who gives a shit? And that angered me, Skullbash. I was very displeased to hear that.
A fan, I guess.
John, was your friend dismissive of the death of a man far before his time? Were they dismissive of it because they hate Korean people? Nikki says, I've learned to take any opportunity that comes your way. I'm scared of opportunity. That book, Spy Games, is described as a comic book written by Gene David Morvan, illustrated by Kim Jong-gi. He traveled so much he probably didn't have time to do a comic book. Jim's met and hung out with him several times. He has a deeper connection to him than the rest of us. Now, did Kim Jong-gi speak English? I've only ever seen him speaking in Korean.
Not really. He had a translator
the
whole time.
So yeah, no shit. Jim Lee, man. Jim Lee was probably able to, actually, communicate with him. And then, talk about illustration. I wonder if Jung-ji had to know I mean, he's in his 40s. He was a Gen Xer. I wouldn't be surprised if he knew of, was well aware of Jim Lee's contributions to comic book art.
I think so. Even if he wasn't, he probably brush up on the info, because I remember he did a collab with him at New York Comic Con. They both drew side by side, a Batman character. So
Yoji shitting on Jim Lee's Korean. Says his Korean is ass. Says Jim speaks better German than he does Korean.
Riddle.
Oh, Jim came over when he was 2. Yoji came over when he was 7. Dude, I even saw actors. I saw Daniel Day Kim was also like, rest in peace, Master Kim.
Well, I mean, he's one of the most prolific icons in our, industry. He's in the news, big sponsorship deals.
Sure.
He made drawing like the shit.
Yeah.
Like, nothing digital. It's straight out the noggin, hard work. Putting pen to paper every day, and showing you that it's possible to do what he does. Yeah, I'm thinking of getting his latest book, the one with the purple cover.
That thing's got to be sold out, right?
Let me check. That's what I'm afraid of.
Yeah,
everyone's gonna go buy his shit.
That's what Yoji said. Yoji said he wanted to get a signed book on eBay. He said it sold out immediately after his death.
Oh my God. Super Annie.
Yoji says his talent was unmatched. I had a conversation with John about this last night. I'm in the camp.
I don't know about that.
I'm in the camp of, I believe Jung-Ji had natural abilities. Not to discredit his hard work and dedication to his craft, right? My point was, I don't give a shit how natural your abilities are. I think you still need to nurture those. But I wouldn't be surprised if Jung-Ji had some additional natural gifts. I likened it to Michael Jordan. Whereas Michael Jordan, looked to play basketball, you need certain natural abilities, right? That not everyone is gifted with. And I think Jordan had those. But natural abilities on their own, without proper training, without proper dedication, without determination, it means, in the end, it means fuck all, right? If you've got natural gifts and you do nothing with them, it equates to nothing. Like, that I think, personal opinion, if you, because I've met people who were, they just felt like they were meant to be artists, I remember even in high school when I was struggling to, do like a still life, there were kids who were just smoke me, get it done half the time, render it twice as fast, twice as better, and they seem to almost do it effortlessly. And they wouldn't draw nearly half as much as I did. I would, instead of having like actual school notes in my book, my page would be filled with drawings and practice drawings and all this other shit. But I remember years ago, I looked up these kids who I knew were better than me, who I aspired to be as good as, and they don't draw anymore, right? They just stopped giving a shit about it. Mm-hmm. Grander point being, I don't think there is a Kim Jung-Ji without his dedication to the craft, right? Mm-hmm. But part of me does think, I think one of the reasons why he's so special is I think there was something innately different about him. And when you pair that with that endless dedication to the craft, it turns him into a fucking legend, Yeah. That's just what the fuck do I know? But he's just, I think maybe that's just my way of reasoning how a person like that comes to be. Maybe it's like the kind of like the hippie dippy in me, thinking that like he maybe he was truly gifted things, you know? Maybe he was like maybe it was the universe giving us all a gift through him.
Yeah, I mean, and the gift is to, you know, dive into your passion.
Yeah,
I think that's the. It doesn't really matter about like skill level. It's
right.
just, you know, do what you love because this is what you love doing.
Yeah, he clearly loved
and
what he did.
Yeah, and he also demystified it. You know, he had classes and courses showing you this is how I do it. I use this box grid, but it's embedded into my head, so I know how to, you know, do this.
Yeah,
and I've done this for what, 50 years. So
yeah,
you know, get good, catch up.
Yeah, draw 18 hours a day.
You know,
but that's the thing. Deep down, I believe that even if someone did draw 16 hours a day, and like, you know, smartly, right, like deliberately, right, not just like fucking around, I think if you get another 40-something-year-old that's drawn for the majority of their life during every waking hour, I still don't think you're going to get a Kim Jong-ji. I think he's just one of a kind, man. I think there's just something in there. Not to say that you wouldn't become an excellent illustrator or an incredible illustrator, but I think that, man, there's something truly unique and special about him, which is why, like, I don't think we're ever going to see another Jung-ji again.
Yeah, probably not in our lifetime. Maybe in
the future.
Yeah.
Reminds me of that. Are you familiar with that Winnie the Pooh quote?
Which?
Winnie the Pooh says, "How lucky I am to have had something that makes saying goodbye so hard." That's kind of how I feel. It's weird, right? Winnie the Pooh.
I am.
That's kind of how I feel right now, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like how lucky are we that we were able to experience him now. That it hurts to say goodbye to him.
Yeah, man, it's like the weirdest feeling, like being emotional about someone you barely knew, but also knew at the same time, because you know, you were the same, you know, this creative trying to make your way.
Yeah, he was like he was the beacon, man. I feel like he showed every one of us what it was like to love what you do, pursue what you do, and then inspire countless other people, old and new. I mean, I thought that was one of the most beautiful parts about one of the most beautiful aspects of his life is how it wasn't just a younger generation or non-artists who he brought beauty to. It was his peers. It was people his age, people older than him, were able to look at his work and feel rejuvenated, feel inspired. Greenfang says, "I don't think it's just doing it like a robot for 18 hours a day that makes it happen. Found another copier. His suddenly improved, but the style was all over the place." Oh, dude, that's when it comes to people that trace and copy. The number one thing to look out for, I'd say, is even if you're not aware of the art that they're tracing specifically, look at their art, because if they're copying other art, they can't help but copy their style too. Hello, Dreamer. Welcome, Dreamer. So what you'll see is on their Instagram feed, on their whatever, on their Twitter feed, you'll see what looks like, you know, it looked like it's been made by different artists, because it has. But yeah, no, there will not be a coherent style throughout their work. Miyazaki right now is, man, I wonder how many people will be sad when I go.
Yeah, that's another one.
Yeah, people are going to be. But isn't that crazy, right? Like, most people know Miyazaki, but I would say he's stuck to a very, like, I would say the art community is going to be very sad when Miyazaki passes. And people who are fans of the Ghibli films.
I don't think they'll be just as sad, but they'll be sad.
I think they'll be sad. I think they'll be bummed. But again, back to Jung Ji being this beautiful, one-of-a-kind soul. You take even a fucking legend like Miyazaki. I don't think people will be as upset. That's just my take. I might be wrong. I don't know, man. What do you guys think? Chat. It felt like Kim Jong-ji was one of us, to Skullbash's point. Like the same way that we wake up and are struggling at the drafting table, it felt like he was too. Which is why it feels like a friend. It feels more like a friend, mentor, past. Miyazaki. I mean, I would never dream of being flippant about his contributions to our culture, our world, art. You know, the man's a living legend, and many people will be crestfallen when he passes. But I think there is just something a little bit different about Jung Ji. Dave Tran agrees. Kim Jong Ji's reach was a lot greater, in my opinion. And I think, well, because I think to do what Miyazaki does, a thing of beauty. But he's a few steps away, right? He's drawing, but he's an animator, but also he's kind of the head honcho. He's wearing many hats, and also he's notoriously a bit of a dickhead, and in like a funny, surly, kind of grumpy grandpa kind of way, unless you're his son, who he has called a failure publicly, which is Jesus Christ. But Kim Jong-ji was at the table, man. He was at the table, and he was using a Pentel pocket brush, the same one that you could buy from any arts and crafts store, any fucking hobby shop. Hell, you could probably buy them at your local Staples. And he was just going for it, man. And he seemed to love it. It was almost like Kim Jong-ji just inhabited that. It almost seemed like, you know, when you first start drawing, or when you first get an idea for something that you love, where you can't wait, you have this almost childlike anticipation of getting to draw it. It was almost as if he was able to capture that and just run with it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure, obviously, he's a human being, right? So there were probably days where he maybe fucking hated what he was doing, but it never came off that way. I don't know about one of us. I feel like I'm looking up to a giant that I can never come close to in terms of skill. In terms of skill, Nikki become a sponsor. What the fuck what is that? Nikki just became a member. Oh shit. Oh, you became a YouTube member too, dude?
Yeah, buddy.
Hey, thank you so much. Wow. Thank you, Nikki.
You're welcome.
Nikki's my second ever YouTube member. Nikki, welcome to Unnamed Level 1.
Unnamed.
Unnamed. You are the unnamed.
I'm the unnamed.
see, Yoji, I think that's the duality of Kim Jong-ji. In one aspect, yes, he was an untouchable legend whose skill most of us will never even be able to come close to competing with. In another way, I don't think he put himself on that pedestal. I mean, look at his interaction with Skullbash.
Yep.
And Skullbash isn't by himself. I've heard all kinds of beautiful words from artists of all walks of life interacting with the man. I think even from Kennedy as well. So I think that's, like, yeah, him even doing conventions. Now, obviously, he's not the same as us at the convention, right? I mean, very different. We'd have very, very, very different convention experiences. But yeah, seeing him there at the table doing his thing, he's not doing to the same caliber. No, miles and miles and miles away. But as to what he was doing at the convention center, and the fact that he was doing, I mean, hell, just think about that by itself. The man did conventions. He didn't have to. Are you shitting me? He could have just done what other artists I've known who don't even have a fraction of the man's success do, which is set up a booth, hire help to sell your shit while you do whatever the fuck you want to do, which is not be at a convention table. And yet, he showed up. He was there, and he drew excellently. I've never seen a bad or shitty or phoned in Kim Jong-gi drawing in someone's book. Never heard a story of him getting mad or yelling or having a tantrum or telling people to fuck off or get away from his booth. So I guess when I say it felt like Kim Jong-gi was one of us, I think that's, I felt like he was in the trenches with us. Not necessarily that him and I, or Skullbash me and him, well, not that we're the same. But like, he didn't have to be in the trenches, but he was. And it seemed like he was happy to be there. Which, with the man's level of success, it kind of only makes you turn around to people that you hear stories about at conventions that have like a modicum of success and are fucking assholes about it, who don't want to be there, don't want to talk to fans, everything dealing with them is like pulling teeth. A friend of ours was telling
Adams.
Yeah. Neil Adams. Yeah. But not just that, and there are new artists. I don't want to say who because it's rude, but man, Yoji, Skullbash, the stories I could tell you. I don't want to say who reached out to me and told me what's cooking with a couple of these younger artists. But man, dude, the entitlement, the dismissiveness, the aggression, the arrogance, the passive aggression, just the sheer hubris and entitlement from, again, people who fucking don't even have the amount of talent and dedication that Kim Jong-gi had in his fucking pinky toe. Just coming off like arrogant pieces of shit. So yeah, man. Thanks again for YouTube subbing to me, Nicole. I tried to subscribe to you the other day, but Bill Nash beat me to it.
Only because I yelled at you about it.
Oh, did you? I had you on mute. I was watching TV.
Rude. No, I did it in text. I thought. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
It's fine. You have another month. Figure it out. Get me my print. Thank you.
Shit, I've told stories. He was diabetic, but he died of a heart attack. Wait, Kim Jong-gi was diabetic? It was probably related to the diabetes, hectic schedule, and lifetime. Somebody told me that COVID hit him horribly, which now makes even more sense. It's a rumor, so who really knows? But there was John Amore. John Amore told me, I don't know if this is a big secret or not, but John Amore told me that he had heard rumors back during the pandemic, Jung-gi got hit with COVID and it wrecked him. Which, Yoji, now knowing that he had diabetes, of course, dude, diabetes them along with the elderly were those are some of the, being old or being diabetic or being morbidly obese were like, that was a trifecta. If you had all of those things, COVID was basically a death sentence getting it, unless your body was able to fight incredibly hard. But listen, man, fucking near 1 million people died, and I think it's because there are lots of underlying conditions.
I think it's wild that my mom beat it a second time with her autoimmune.
Yeah, no, but she did. It wasn't an easy win, It wasn't.
No.
Yeah.
Because her autoimmune attacks her lungs, and when she had COVID the first time, it was 7 days of the ventilator. And then the second time, it was just like whatever new medicine they have. I don't know what it's called. and they just kept like pumping her through.
Yeah.
It has to be given through the IV, and it took her from Monday to Friday release day. And it's just like, I fucking freaked out when I found out she got it again, just because of how many people have passed due to underlying conditions, right? So
yeah, no. Eric Canetti, actually, he knew, I think, 2 or 3 people that died from it. COVID, that is. So, I mean, now it's, hey, take this. Most people are, it's a lot less. Omicron doesn't hit as hard, but he traveled all the time. It's not easy on the body. He was doing a month-long tour in Europe, and it was going to, he was just in Paris. He was just in Paris on the way to New York City Comic-Con when it happened. But
yeah, man, I was watching him last week on YouTube. Just doing it.
Skull Bash was rock hard watching him draw on YouTube last week live.
Terrible. Son of a bitch.
I made a couple of Kim Jong-ji death jokes with John and Dave last night. Just because I think I couldn't bear the weight of, like, I just been feeling sad all goddamn day, Like, I just needed to fucking say something stupid to my friends to just get a chuckle in, man. It was legit. I'm not even joking, man. It was hard to draw yesterday. Like, even now.
Yep.
I wrote that the pen feels a lot heavier today than it did before he passed. And I was being sincere. So yeah, goofing around with Dave. Thank you for that, by the way, Dave and John. I don't know if you guys are still in earshot, but I really appreciate that. We had a little conversation about it yesterday. Just kind of it was nice talking with the boys. Yeah, it was kind of just commiserating, just talking shit. Even now, just chatting with you guys. Dave says I'm here. John says I'm here. John says fuck you, Dave.
Yeah, I had to go to the gym and work out that frustration.
Yeah, man.
Get it, boy.
Dave Tran, John, I love you. Oh, sweet. With sweetie.
Tender moments.
Tender Tran. That's what they call him. TT.
Oh, no.
Oh, boy.
You're welcome.
John, don't fall for it. He used the same line on me.
Oh.
Never trust the Viet Cong, Yoji says. I love to throw your sorry ass out the fucking window. You're right. There it is.
There's the aggression.
There it
Let
is.
it all out.
Hit him with a 1-2.
Or join Skull back to the gym too.
Yeah, let's go for the gym. All of us.
Yeah, I got to cycle tonight.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind a little. I probably need some exercise, friends. It's good for the mind, good for the body. Remember, the body and mind are one. And you must take care of them as such, right, Dave Tran? Dave Tran's been exercising. He's been in the gym. He's got one of those bikes. Dave, do you have one of those bikes? One of those fancy white people bikes? The what the fuck is it called? The proletariat? What the fuck do they call it?
What were you gonna say? Because it's called the Peloton, but I really wanted to know what you were gonna say.
Nikki, do you know what the proletariat is?
No, I don't know what that is.
It's a fucking fancy way of saying the average Joe. That's all that is. But you know what it is? People use fancy words around me, and then I feel stupid, and then I'm like, I'm gonna learn that word, and then I
Google words you say sometimes. I'm like, what the fuck does that mean?
Yeah, it's the middle class.
We're learning.
Yes,
we're learning.
John knows.
You don't need those fancy bikes, though, man.
John, did you do? When you hear people using fancy words, do you do the same? Do you like write them down? You're like, I'm gonna fucking learn this word, and I'm gonna use it too. You'll see. I'm not stupid. I'm smart. You'll see. I'm not stupid like they say. I know things. You know what, man?
It's making a clicking sound. How hard are you writing it?
It's making
Damn. All right, Amor. Whatever.
Yeah. Dave Tran rides that bicycle so hard, it works like a regular bicycle now.
Wait, what?
Dave Tran's got a Peloton. Oh no, he doesn't. He doesn't have a Peloton. He has a cheap Costco $200 bike. Isn't a Peloton like $5,000-$6,000?
It's like 2, and then you got to pay like that monthly fee or whatever, which is stupid.
Dude, imagine paying a monthly fee to own your fucking like be able to use it.
You could finance it too, which I think is also ridiculous. But I will say I was this close on doing it.
It's like, hey, nice Peloton. Yeah, it's a lease.
Yeah.
Me, I'm smart. Matilde says, if someone says a fancy word I don't know, I also try to learn it, but in English it's different since it's not a native language. I know a lot of fancy words, I just forget to use them. Well, it's not often that, you know, speaking of the proletariat comes up in fucking casual conversation. I think what I used the word yesterday to describe somebody's mood. I described somebody's mood as mood. I described their mood as being mercurial.
What?
Think of Mercury, right? Mercury is the root word, and mercurial is the having kind of an erratic disposition, an unpredictable disposition emotionally.
That was like me.
But it's not. It's not a word that you use. It's not a word you use
on a daily basis.
On a daily basis. Recalcitrant.
Day, actually.
Recalcitrant. First off, let's see. Did I say the word correctly? I can't use it correctly because I forgot what it meant, or maybe I never knew what it meant. Let's see. I'm looking up I'm looking up the old defo right now. I want to see what's cooking. Does anybody in the chat know what the word means? Before I look it up, anybody want to show off their word knowledge?
Are we talking about your word or Amor's?
The Amor word. I'm not getting anything. Got it.
Recalcitrant.
Recalcitrant.
I said it right.
Oh.
You pronounce it right. Yeah, I know. I've heard it before. Stubbornly resistant to or defiant of authority or guidance. Synonym: obstinate. Difficult to manage or deal with. And the third definition given is resistant to chemical decomposition, decomposing extremely slowly. That would, McDonald's hamburgers would probably be considered quite recalcitrant. It's an adjective.
Gross. Yeah.
If you guys have ever seen those videos of Mickey D's hamburgers literally not decomposing after a shockingly prolonged amount of time. Difficult to manage or deal with. Oh, you know, another one? The person that John Moore, the rumors we heard about that one comic book artist. They seem like a recalcitrant person. Matilda Googled it. All right, let's go. All right, enough of this fancy pants.
Fancy pants.
Fancy pants.
Recalcitrant.
I've been known to be a recalcitrant from time to time. From time to time.
Often.
You know, Austin called me up last night, and he said he was going to buy a. Oh, what was he going to buy? Oh, he's going to buy a new iPad Pro for drawing. And I told him he should splurge. And fellow iPad Pro users, let me know if I sent him on the right path. I told him that he should spend the extra couple $100 to get the bigger screen. Because he's like, I'm gonna go 11-inch iPad Pro screen. And I said, Austin, as a friend, no joke, sincerely, please reconsider getting the 13-inch screen. I know I'm rounding up; it's like 12.9 inch, but you catch my meaning. When the screen is as small as it is every inch matters. And I know that sounds frisky. But you know what, you might think penis size is what I'm alluding to, and you'd be right, because you know what, if you've got a small dick, every inch matters, every centimeter matters. So specifically when you're drawing on a tablet that is much smaller than, you know, the 32-inch Cintiq or 24 inches or whatever, even the 19-inch Cintiq, right? This thing's got many inches less. You're essentially drawing on a piece of computer paper. So at that size, seriously, any reduction in inches at that size really stand out. So yes, I said in the long run, Austin, splurging the extra couple $100, it's gonna pay dividends in space. I didn't get to check in on him after the fact. Austin, you know what's interesting about Austin? He's a phone caller. I was sitting on the toilet. I was getting ready to shit. I was getting comfortable. I was pulling up a YouTube video to watch. I had my phone out. It's shitting time, and then sure enough, I get a phone call from Austin. My little Apple Watch starts going off like I'm a spy kid, and sure enough, it was Austin Dennis Jacobson. He had questions. He had questions for me, your boy. Hey, Bale's here. Hello, Bale. Hey, John, what was the context that the person used recalcitrant for you in your conversation? Austin Dentist Jacobson. Oh, look, Nikki using a little... Oh, that's so cool. So my emotes show up on YouTube as well. And
yeah, you can only use them if you're a member or a sponsor or whatever the hell it says.
Sweet.
An unnamed one, unnamed level.
Unnamed level. They don't show up. I see. So because this is a relatively new feature, I think the restream chat isn't quite up to date. So if you look at the chat the overlay of the chat on the screen, it shows you the text, but not the actual emote like it does on Twitch. It was a Paul Bettany interview. He was describing some homeless people as recalcitrant. That is a very nice way that is such a fucking British way of describing a homeless person. Using the emotes, I'm assuming you could use those in other YouTube live streams. I would guess. I don't know that for certain.
Too, but I don't actually follow anybody else that goes live. Oh, you know what? I probably should check that on Nerds when he goes live on Friday.
Nerd.
Oh wait, no, we're camping.
Wait, what?
Camping. I forgot.
Oh,
I already
yeah,
forgot about this weekend plans. Wild.
Are you excited to be a camper?
No. Because it's been fucking cold out here. I should probably check the weather.
Dude, it's 70 degrees out today for the first day in like a week.
Wow. It was really, really pretty out in Michigan the last 3 days. Like we had beautiful weather.
Yeah, you were outside. For those of you who don't know, Nikki was hanging out in Michigan.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, she posted a picture. Did you show everybody your pictures of you and Liz on your Instagram?
Yeah, well, I mean, if it's on there, then yeah.
Yeah, you can post in the chat if you want to show people. If you want to give them the link, so they could show a little Nikki appreciation. No, you don't. I'm not forcing you. You don't have to. Actually, you're right. I take it back. If you guys don't already follow Nicole, you don't get to see the photos. How about that?
Oh, oh, damn! Look at that. There we go. I like that.
Yeah. Yeah, you missed out. And,
I was getting all ready. Yeah, you missed out.
Yeah, too bad for you.
Mike only likes it because there was a shout out. We did have we had like a little heart to heart about you yesterday. Yeah, it was nice.
Very sweet of you.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think Matilda and her lover, Jansport, do you think they have heart to hearts about me when they're hanging out?
No. The sigh. John, stupid. Wait, are you?
Matilda said.
Oh yeah.
Matilda says camping is fun, but I prefer doing it in France. France camping? Wait, why? What the fuck is the difference between France camp and Danish camp? Dane camp.
See, today it's 75 down there, but tomorrow's gonna be 58. Oh, that's not too shabby. Low of 32. That's fucking cold.
That's gonna suck, dude. That's fucking. That's almost like it's gonna snow weather.
Yeah, I'm a little terrified at night, but I think we're getting a space heater, and I don't have clothes for camping. I'm just gonna. I never actually got rid of my old clothes that no longer fit me, so I'm just gonna layer and
like a homeless
layer
person?
and layer. Yeah, pretty much.
Like the pigeon lady from Home Alone 2?
I'm gonna put newspapers in.
You're gonna shove newspaper in there. You're gonna bring a couple pigeons with you.
Yeah, little turtle doves too. Just little, ornament. Why do you always do animal noises that you can't do? Oh, my nephew's like, what the fuck? I'm trying to nap. That's so funny. What was that? Do it again, because it wasn't.
That was animal. That was just indiscriminate animal noise.
I can hold Liz for warmth. She's not with me today.
Oh.
Sir, thank you very much.
Oh, Yoji. You could just, Toxygen says, you could just ask me. Danish, cold, windy, uninteresting. French camp, nice, warm, maybe mountains and cool nature. Do Danish people not have cool nature?
Oh. Saturday is going to be nice. So
Toxic prefers Swedish camping. I wouldn't mind. I don't know. I don't know anything about European geography. I mean, like I'm talking about like topography. Like I don't know the best place to camp, like the most scenic place to camp. Although I imagine going to the Alps is nice. Skullbash, have you ever been to the Alps, either on the Swiss side or the Italian side? Is it because you don't do well in snow because there's no camouflage?
No, I never visited that part of the world.
I'd go. Let's go, Skullbash, you and me. I've never skied. I've only skied before once, and it was pretty bad. Not ski. I snowboarded once, and it was all bunny slopes. I was raised by white people, but not that kind of white people, Skullbash. Not the ski trip white. It's not ski trip whites. I was raised by inner city white people.
Yeah, I was gonna visit, but I ran out of money when I was in Europe. I couldn't go to Italy.
Skullbash had to sell his body just to get out of Europe.
Pretty much.
Hey.
Yeah. He had to bang some dowager countess just to get out.
I need to leave the country. Please help.
Yeah. Oh, sure. Right up these stairs, my boy. I did enjoy camping. I just don't want to camp in my own country. I wondered why we never went skiing as a family when I was a kid, but a couple years back my mom told me that we were actually meant to go skiing when I was 8 or 9, but because my dad lost his job at the time, they changed plans and it never happened since. Oh. Well, yeah, no, dude. Yeah, I grew up pretty like fucking lower middle class, borderline poor. So that's one of the reasons my parents are not forking over the money for fucking ski trips for the lot of us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never been to Disneyland or World.
I went there, but we had family we could stay with when we went to Disneyland. We had family that lived in Los Angeles.
So we went to Cedar Point. That was my highlight of my childhood. So everybody enjoy the what's it called? Magical World or something? I don't know. I don't even know what it's called.
Magical World.
I don't know. What is it called?
I don't know. I never been there.
Yeah, where dreams come true. Happiest place on earth.
There it is. I went to Disneyland Paris twice with my family and once with a youth trip thing. Did you like it? Ooh, I wonder what Disneyland Paris is like.
Yeah, but again, we had
family and friends. Yeah, having family.
I have family in Puerto Rico that keeps getting wiped the fuck out from these hurricanes.
Yeah, there's no Disney park in Puerto Rico.
No.
There might be like a Disney slave encampment somewhere in Puerto Rico that we're unaware of.
Oh my god.
Wow.
Listen, that's a dig on the mega corporation. What are you guys sighing at? I'm shitting on Disney, not Puerto Ricans.
I don't know, but you just like, oh, the unfiltered you is so great. Okay. You even got Eric to speak out like out of like a whoa.
Don't boo me, I'm right. But again, we have family friends. Everyone speaks French. That's first off, awful.
Yeah. Well, that's weird.
But then what are the alternatives? California or Florida, which are woof, those states. Well, that's the thing, right? I mean, we had this conversation before. Florida is such a conundrum. I think of all the states, Florida is the most confounding. It doesn't make any sense. There are so many, like, what it means to be Floridian. It comes down to such a specific geographical location within the state itself. I can't think of another state where you can have 4 or 5 different areas within the state where they might as well be different states within themselves. It is insane. If you have a conversation with a person from Tallahassee, that person is practically from the fucking bayou. You know, they might even have a fucking Louisiana style accent. But if you're talking from somebody, north of like Jacksonville, or, that northeastern version, that kind of southerner, going to sound way closer to a Georgian or perhaps somebody from the Carolinas. If you're dealing mid-state, who knows what the fuck you're dealing with? Maybe white trash from Tampa, maybe those fucking lunatics over in the Melbourne side. Maybe you're dealing with the Boca Raton retirees who basically sound like New Yorkers, the snowbirds. Miami, you get your own breed of Floridians down there. You might bump into beautiful Haitians or people from the Caribbean or Cuba, of course. Some of the sexiest people you ever seen in your life down there. But they'll have nothing in common with people in the rest of the shit. And we're not even talking about the Keys, right? I heard they're their own fucking monsters down there, Skull Bash. Is that true?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, Florida's fucking wild, man. That place is something else. Skull Bash, favorite part of Florida outside of your own?
Sarasota.
Yeah, I don't even know where is that.
It's West Coast. It's probably south of Tampa.
Okay. What do you like about the people over there?
I just like the beaches there because that's where I lived when I went to art school. That's where Ringling's at.
Oh, no shit.
Yep. So it's got a soft place in my cold heart.
Oh.
Fuck out of here.
Nikki's calling bullshit.
Sometimes.
Nikki's saying nothing about you is soft ever.
Oh, wow. Nope, that's not where I was going.
Heyo.
Heyo.
Heyo. Hello, Serica.
I like how you were saying like Serica.
Serica.
Combined her names together.
Sersha. Skull is always hard.
Wait, what?
Tildy's confused. Tildy's already started writing fan fiction.
Oh wow, like a pirate again? Are you making Skull a pirate?
R. Matey. Where's the booty?
I need to know what to use for the. I need to know what to use for this fanfic. Oh boy, here she comes.
What do you mean use? So we're not making Eric a pirate.
R.
Stop. You just seem very excited to be a pirate. Maybe, maybe you said toxic. Never mind.
I could see Skullbash as being a pirate.
He's just like so happy about R-ing.
Yeah.
Aye.
With a
R.
with a beard with the braids in it. A beard.
Ears and braids.
Braids. Lots of cool
I would
jewelry.
need probably like massive dreadlocks up to my shoulders.
Yeah, of course. Hell yeah.
With,
long
like,
dreads.
Piece of jewelry in it. Yeah.
Check Sled Gang for 2 seconds, says John Amore. He has an anti-Asian policy now. Yeah, no Asians allowed
man.
Where is...
All right.
Did you hear the Spawn movie update?
No, tell me.
Jamie Foxx is gonna be Spawn, and I forget. Oh my god, who's a writer? Oh man, I'm forgetting everything right now. But he announced it like a day or two ago, like some details for the new movie.
Toddy Mac?
Yeah, Toddy himself.
Tildy said she once pegged her boyfriend when she was dressed up as Jack Sparrow.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. What? What?
Arr. That's what he said.
It is like a higher pitch, though, right? Just a little bit when it entered.
That's his safe word. Arr.
You be pegging me, mate.
The peg's too deep.
Oh, hey, look, Skullbash, your friend Little Lady D, she sent a provocative video out where you can see her pubes. Here, I'm gonna post the link in the chat.
New one?
Yeah, here, I just dropped it. Oh, oh boy, this one's probably her most provocative one yet.
See what she's up to. She's finally learning the ways of the hustler.
Yeah. Yeah, you can actually see her bush. She's got a lot of pubes, dude. Did you know that about her?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, she's
Yeah, I used to draw her. She was one of my models for a while.
Wait, so she would show up naked in full bush?
Oh no, it wasn't naked. She had like, underwear that was like see-through.
The underwear doesn't cover it up though, man. Like she posted a photo on her Instagram a while back that I remarked on because she had so much. How did I describe it to John Amore? I said it felt like somebody was trying to put panties over Bob Ross's hair. Like her pubes are so her like you see if you look at that like her hair is so thick and black. Her pubes are the same. So like I feel like her pubes are like thick, man. They're like thick black bristle pads. So like they really like they look like little animals trying to escape her panties. Which listen, if you like that, go for it. By all means. I'm not a pube guy. I'm not a pube man. Me don't like the pubes. Looks like she trims to me. I want no part of this narrative, says John Amore.
Check your phone, Michael.
Oh boy. I want to what you can see in the post you sent in the chat is not much. All right, hang on. I don't want to have to. I don't want to have to go digging through this through this girl's photo history. But no, well, let me see, man. Also, I will say this about Little Lady D. She's shadow banned, by the way. I don't know if you knew this about her, Skullbash. I mean,
a lot of girls like that are.
Yeah, I wanted to look up I think I was trying to look up the very same pube photo that I was telling you guys about. And I'm like, oh, okay, where's this pube photo? So I typed her name in the search engine, the search bar in Instagram. Like little dot lady dot, and her name didn't show up at all. It was as if she doesn't exist on Instagram. It was that level of, buried. And that's honestly, that's one of the telltale signs that Instagram has shadow banned you and is not showing your account to people outside of your loyal fan base. So they have clearly definitely flagged her. Yeah, they've definitely flagged her for misbehaving.
And she might get banned soon because that seems like what happened to her last account.
Yeah, but it's because she's a nice person, but she's not. I don't know if it's intentional or she's being like, what's the word I'm looking for? Obstinate, defiant. She's just trying to defy Instagram. Because I mean, listen, that's not going to work out for her.
I mean, I feel like her stuff's more tame than stuff that Instagram lets, running amok on the platform.
Oh, listen, yeah, no, she's by no means the worst, but that doesn't mean, just because she's not the worst doesn't mean that they won't not, punish her.
Well, that's the thing. They're not playing fair because they're playing favoritism in a way.
Yeah.
And then it's weird, and then some girls will reach maybe 1 million followers, and then they get canned like that. So who knows? It's like a freaking chimp is just pressing buttons.
Here,
it's not enticing enough.
I posted her pube photos in the Discord memes and adult themes chat. I'm gonna tag Matilda in there so she can see this lady's pubes.
John.
What you can see in the post is not much. Wait. Do you think Matilda has more? Do you guys think Matilda has more or less pubes than Lady D? Lady D in the most recent post. Much more. I think Matilda has got way more pubes, and that's why she's trying to tone down this lady's pubes. I knew it.
Did you say pubes? I walked right in. I was like, hey, is there pubes talk going on right now?
Yeah.
Perfect timing.
Welcome.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, does Skullbash, do you I forget what your pube preference is. None? Fair? Lots?
Short, trimmed.
Trimmed. Neat. I think that's what it is. You know what it is? Her pussy hair doesn't look neat. It looks unkempt. Hey, listen. Hey, baby, run a brush through that thing, will you? Come on.
Run a brush. Is that what you just said?
Yeah, if you're going to have that much pubes, fucking... Jesus Christ. John says to hit Control F pubes. Skullbash.
Control F pubes.
You're doing it right now, aren't you, Skullbash?
Yeah, he's bashing. I hear him hitting the keys. He's.
You have a pubes key.
Yeah, he's got. Yeah, he's got one hand on the Control F.
Skullbash doesn't buy a computer unless there's a keyboard with pubes. Listen, I mentioned this the night that we were talking about it. I didn't have a problem with it.
Yeah, listen, Eric is
well done.
He's.
I'm pro pubes.
He's pro pubes. Yep.
Gross.
I am pro Amazonian levels of growth pubes.
Gross.
That's heavy. Need a machete for that one.
Yeah, man.
Machete.
That's too much. That's too much for you guys.
You know what it is? I look at her pubes and
make a pirate noise. Why did you make a parrot noise?
These
Why
pubes
do you
be in my
associate-
teeth.
It's today's theme.
That's so nasty.
Oh my god.
Nikki's sweating.
Dude, it's hot.
They said it was cold.
No, it will be tomorrow.
If you shave down there with hair that dark, you'll see stuff the next day again. Matilda's hair is pretty dark, but not jet black. I think that's what it is too. She's relatively fair skinned, and her hair is it's like the color of night.
She's not a dark. Is that what you're saying?
She's not a brown, but you know what? Little Lady D's a brown, but she's pretty fair skinned, Nikki, right?
She's a brown. She's a brown.
She's pretty fair skinned.
She's a fair skinned brown.
Nikki, has Circa ever shown you any of her pubes, Nikki?
Well.
Okay. No.
That you know of.
I bet Circa. You know, Circa's sneaky, man. She's a clever girl, so I bet she's shown you. I bet she's shown you at least one pube, and you didn't even know you saw it.
Nope.
What are you
How?
talking about? How do you just show the one pube?
How?
Listen, she's smart.
Zoom on the camera.
She's
she
smart.
Just pulls it out, maybe. And just goes wait, tell me.
She's smart enough to sneak a pube past you.
Did you just sneak a pube? Get the fuck out of here, sneak a pube.
I can't. I gotta. I'm just like, John. Clever girl.
Clever girl.
Oh, dude. Dude, you ever sneak a pube past somebody before? Sneak a pube. You realize there are times, again, you just sound dumb. You know?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, sneaky pubes. Let's write that down, John.
Sneaky pubes. That's like it's like an Eminem lyric.
He does this to me all the time. It's terrible.
What, sneak a pube?
I've never shown Toxogen in my pubes.
Yeah, you're deliberate about your pubes. You're not sneaky.
Yeah.
You're just like,
yeah, no.
Pube.
I'm not clever like Circa. Did the artist ask Twitter for consent though? Wait, what? Oh my God! Somebody covered that My Hero. Oh, hang on. There was a My Hero Academia cover that was released a while back, and for anybody who watches My Hero Academia, there is an invisible girl, an invisible high school girl, on the show. And when she's walking around, you only see her boots and her gloves. And the implication is that she's walking around fully naked all the time, because in order for her to utilize her power, it doesn't transfer to the clothing that she wears. Hence the nudity. So yes. People draw her.
That tracks though, right?
Yeah, it's listen, it's a little tongue in cheek, it's a little risque, but people have fun with it. So they released a cover, and I believe it's an official Shonen Jump cover. Let me show you guys.
Kidding.
Where's Bale? Where's our fucking resident weeb to know all this shit?
He's on his way to My Hero Academia. That's like summoning Skullbash with like soft virgin pussy or something.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, organic homegrown.
You're laughing because you know it's true.
That granola coochie.
Granola?
What is granola coochie?
All natural. No antibiotics.
Oh. All right. That's
free,
not what granola is.
Yeah,
Michael.
that free range pussy.
You can say that one, and I would understand you better than granola.
Yeah, Skullbash likes that mountain air pussy.
Mountain air pussy. There, see, you could have gone with so many different ones. Granola pussy invokes a different visual.
Yeah, I'm talking about the ladies that bring Gorp on the hiking trail.
Did you say what now? It's hard to keep up. It's hard to keep up, dude.
Wait, y'all don't know about Gorp? Hang on.
Gorp?
Did you say Gorp?
Yeah, dude. Wait, hang on. I swear to God, I'm not making. This isn't one of the things. This isn't one of my stupid things. This is a real thing. It sounds like one of my stupid things.
Aneurysm.
It's a real thing. Here, look, Gorp.
Okay. Gorp.
AKA the original trail mix. That's what I'm talking about. Trail mix coochie.
Don't say trail mix coochie. Again, that's a different visual.
Your gore
When
part.
you say, I go, what did you mean by that? You said all natural. Okay, but that doesn't make me think of trail mix.
Oh, see, well, I think all natural. I think hippie woman.
Mm-hmm.
I think she's making her own gorp. She's going up in the mountains.
But see, you didn't say that. You said you said granola.
Yeah, like a granola hippie.
Doesn't. Okay. Anyway,
I see the translation.
You're summoning Baal as we speak.
Yes.
In as much as if you said, mountain air, all natural pussy.
There it is. You're right. Listen, I'm with you. Gorp is a little too obscure. If I say gorp pussy, people are going to think I'm talking about some kind of alien or something.
Right.
Gorp is an acronym for good old raisins and peanuts.
To be fair. There was also some skull bash like you wouldn't believe. Did I hear alien?
I know these aliens, they have the best pussy.
Is that skull bash? Sounds...
Yeah.
Yeah, I sound like Trump. I've won the lottery.
This is not one of the many.
How many covers have you done for books that you've been involved with? Have you done all the covers, or how many covers have you done? What's your thinking about covers? And what I mean by that is that sometimes you get what I call clickbait covers, or like cover bait, like the Adam Hughes covers,
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
You're like, whoa, that looks really super pretty. That's really well rendered. Then you open the book, and you're like, that's got nothing to do with what's going on inside.
Yep.
I used to be of the mind where I appreciated covers exclusively if they spoke about what's in the interior of the book. But as I look up reference for recent covers for comics, rare is that ever true.
Yeah, no.
Recent comics.
I mean, there's always been the old bait and switch, right? Where the comic is like a...
Not always. I looked up old school Mark Silvestri X-Men covers, and it did point to the interior of the book. There was a scene in there, maybe a little bit more plussed up, and maybe just a tiny bit out of context. But certainly, it's in the book. Nowadays, you just get to see Cyclops blasting people, and Nightcrawler kind of. I guess it has Nightcrawler in it, but it's got very little to do with the narrative or the story that's going on inside the book. Right?
That's so wild.
And I'm like, I don't know if that's a recent thing. I don't know if that's because it's stronger as an image that they can go and use in marketing elsewhere. Like, for instance, there's that really famous jock cover of Joker made out of bats.
Love that one. Legendary.
Right? Yeah, but they put that on everything. That doesn't really have anything to do with the interior of the book, except maybe Joker's in there.
Yes.
So is that the trend now, where it's like not just a cover, but it can be other things as well?
I'd say so. I'd say so. I think that's why I thought that was the case. That was the default. Because now when I'm looking at a comic book cover, I'm looking at it in the vaguest of ways, and by that I mean I don't expect to see what's on the cover in the comic. Now, really? I've been conditioned.
Right.
Like if it's Cyclops.
Skull Bash? What's your perspective?
Break it down, Skull.
So let me get this straight. So I understand what you're saying. Covers, you're saying nowadays have little to nothing to do with the interior.
Right. Whereas before, you'd get this cover that had either little to a lot to do with the story that's going on in the interior. Everything from the ones that used to have dialogue bubbles. You know what I mean? Like, oh no, what's going to happen to Dr. Doom? Or, what happened to you, Reed?
Yeah.
Yes.
Right? They don't have that as much anymore. And I used to be a big stickler for that, and be like, oh, I wish the cover would talk more about the interior, but I don't know if that's, I'm just in my old curmudgeon sitting on my porch telling people to get off my lawn kind of brain, right? What do you think?
I feel like that type of marketing has dissolved a bit. I think there's some books that kind of maintain it. I think the last run of Thor that I was reading kind of kept it pretty cohesive, but for the most part they're like random pinup covers. Because I think because there's so many, variation A, B, C, D, that's what it's about now. Like, what's the coolest cover? I think it's more about how valuable is a book because of the person doing the cover, but has nothing to do with the interior. So I do see that a lot more. I don't know if it's a bad thing.
You don't think it's a bad thing?
It's a little misleading.
Mike, where are you on it?
It's a little misleading.
I think one cover at least should be about like what's happening, like at least alluding to it.
But I'm not even talking about the variants. I'm talking about just as an exercise. You know, you're saying at least one.
Yeah. I'm saying at this point, it's so far removed from that. So at this point, the interior art doesn't have anything to do with the external cover. Then, content-wise, the cover has next to nothing to do with what's happening within the pages either. So it's this weird kind of, I don't want to call it deception, but it is deceiving because sometimes you get almost nothing that you see besides, to Eric's point, the characters that are on the cover. It's almost as if the comic book cover is for a different comic book, not the one you're about to read, which kind of sucks.
Yeah, sometimes. Or it could be it could be for any comic book, you know? It could be for any comic within that line. So if you have a Batman cover, you're like, that Batman has 50 different books. This could be interchangeable with any and all of them, you know?
Yeah.
I'm not saying my preference is the right way. I'm just saying I saw a trend because I was like trying to look up cool comic book compositions that had a bit more of that narrative. And the last ones that I saw were the ones that I can recall were definitely involved with what was happening in the interior. And then the most recent ones that I've seen, I'm just like, oh, Nightcrawler is just doing a teleportation BAMF, or, you know, it's Cyclops and clearly I was looking at X-Men covers, but it's Cyclops and Phoenix just doing their thing. But at one point when John Byrne was drawing a cover, you'd be like, oh yeah, that's them on the moon because you don't get to see them, but the Imperial Guard is hunting them down and they're fighting for their lives, kind of a thing. Like, that's in context to the book, you know?
Yeah.
I'm trying to think back when that may have shifted.
Yoshi says they've been doing that since the Silver Age.
I'm not saying that they've never done it before. I'm not saying like, oh, that's new, that's a new revelation. I'm saying it's trending towards that more and more. Where you just get to get to Mike's point, you just get to see like whoa, that's a cool illustration, that's a cool pinup, that's a cool sort of splashy thing, but rare doesn't have anything to do with the interior. I think that's become more prevalent. There's this really iconic, and I don't know if you remember it, so maybe iconic's not the word, but super memorable image of Wolverine during Mark Silvestri's run on the X-Men. And it was right around the time that he got infected with the Brood, so similar to like aliens, rather than bursting out of your chest, it turns the entire host into one of them. Have you seen that before?
I have not seen that specific cover.
Like stark purple, stark green, and I'm going to bring it up.
I mean, sounds great. Sounds fun.
I type things into Google now like I'm coming up with like a fucking Mid-Journey prompt, you know?
Render in Adam Hughes style.
Exactly. Hey, do you have to put render in?
I think you definitely have to, not render in, but I've seen it done. There is a phrasing that you have to use at the very end, I believe, of your Mid-Journey query to tell it to do it in a style. Hey, Skullbash, have you been to that website where it tells you whether or not AI has used your work?
No.
I think it's called like, have I been AI'd or something like that. I was looking at it the other day. I wasn't, Tran wasn't, Dave, John wasn't, but Eric's art was.
I mean, I used it.
John Moore is stepping away to take a brief nap. Circa is going to lurk. John Amore, I'm sorry. The boss says, I used Sketchbook. You use the Sketchbook app? Do you like it? I've never used that one.
Have AI generators simulated your art? Question mark. New tool lets you check. Is this new tool? Have I been trained?
That's what it is. Have I been trained? Yep, I have the Surface Pro 6. Do you like it? I don't know anything about the Sketchbook. I don't know anything about the Sketchbook app. Hey, Skullbash, so no New York City Comic Con for you this year?
No.
What happened? Why did you change your mind?
Well, I never decided to go.
Leading, Your Honor.
I heard people. I heard people were gonna leave flowers at Kim Jong Ji's table at NYC.
Oh, that's a nice gesture.
Yeah.
I hope it's filled.
Yeah, I'd imagine.
With flowers, little drawings and letters. Yeah, I thought New York Comic Con was going to be next week, so that shows how much I knew the dates to actually, apply for.
Oh wow, Eric, these are great covers, man.
It's that last one that I uploaded that's, at least in my mind, pretty dang iconic. I actually redrew it as tribute to the guy. You see what I mean? It's like still narrative, still sort of like strong in composition, right? That, what do you call it, man? I'm telling you, cover dress is it basically turns your drawings into a square, you know?
Yes.
You gotta draw. People were drawing Instagram style even before Instagram was around.
Yeah. For all of my Inktober drawings, I've changed my canvas to be completely square.
Specifically for TikTok, specifically
for Instagram. Because actually, specifically more for Instagram, because Instagram is more, I think, where the Inktober community lies. So I've tailored it to that. It's actually not very TikTok or YouTube Shorts or even Instagram Reels friendly. Oh shit, what the fuck? Sims art?
Hey, what's up, Sims?
Fucking Sims art. What's up, baby? What the hell brings you all the way? What brings you to my neck of the woods, man? Was it Kim Jong Ji? You said, I'm sad about this. I don't have any Asian friends, but I know a guy who looks like he's Asian. Let me go over there.
Stupid.
He's an Asian qualifier.
Yeah.
It's the closest thing.
What's up, buddy? Sims art. How's it going, man? How's streaming on DeviantArt? Did you guys know that Sims streams on DeviantArt?
They have streaming?
Does DeviantArt have a streaming service?
I said the same thing.
Streaming feature?
They did. They made it just for Sims.
Oh, they did. Good for him.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't want to know what you had to do to get it though.
Does it rhyme with blowjay?
Maybe it does.
Hey, you want to talk about Sims art? Look at this. Look. Ooh, doesn't look cool.
Oh shit! Yes. That looks incredible. Here, Dude, this month's been crazy. What do they got you doing this month, Sims?
Wait, are they doing it? Is he doing it at the behest of DeviantArt?
Yeah, no, he's a sponsored dude.
What an idiot.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
They're forking over cash to have him be on their platform.
What's this last drawing you posted?
That's Sims doing one of Eric's characters.
Oh. Ooh.
You say ew? Thanks, man.
Nice. Ooh, cute.
Ooh.
I was downhearted for a minute there.
The boss. What's up, Joker?
Oh shit, it's been crazy. What have you been doing, man?
Yeah, what have you been up to?
It's been a minute.
Yeah, I wonder what Sims has been up to. Sims, are you working on another?
Bang, bang, you're the best.
Hey, Amply Ancient, thank you for the follow. Sims, are you working on another comic book? They sponsor a bunch of artists. It's a pretty cool idea, I think. They should do more stuff like that. I mean, art brands in general. Sponsoring artists.
Well, you in specific, your what social media presence, your following.
Oh yeah, no, Sims
is pretty substantial.
Sims,
right?
you've blown up, baby.
That makes sense for them to back him up.
Of course. Yeah, no, Sims got a lot of eyes. I'm working on a comic, but I'm stalling quite a bit because I'm not good at writing. Oh right, I remember that being the Webtoons issue. Your writer was butthole. You had to switch writers, if I remember correctly. What a waste, man. Could you imagine imagine you get an artist of Sims's caliber. You have an artist of Sims's caliber and you just squander, you know? You have an opportunity to really make something special on Webtoons. Sims has got a hell of an artistic voice and as well as a hell of a following on social media platforms. And rather than really truly utilize his artistic abilities to make something, you know, that readers would want to enjoy, you just have a writer who doesn't really know what they're doing. Kind of fuck the whole thing.
How did they squander? Did they just kind of like, did they get out of the collaborative space? Did they say, do it my way? What did they do?
I don't know if Sims wants to chat about it in specifics. You're free to do so, Sims.
Let's leave it out.
But
sorry,
yeah.
I forgot about the.
I just you know.
Sensitive subject.
I remember there was issues there on that collaborative team, and yeah, I'm kind of speaking out of my butt. I was clearly not there. This is just my recollection of it. DVA Markura, thank you for the follow. I'm working on a comic, but stalling a bit. Yeah, I managed to talk with a popular writer, but they ghosted me. Shit. Damn,
hey,
Sims.
one more, and I'm gonna start questioning you, dude. You know what I mean? Like, one more of those, because 2 is just like a weird coincidence.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like after the 3rd one, I start going like, something's wrong with Sims.
Sims has always been so sweet with us. I feel like it's hard to.
But that's to us, right?
Oh, I see. So it's kind of the behind closed doors things. So like Sims is really he's the Italian sweetie here.
Yeah.
But the second you're like, yeah, I'll write for you, Sims. He's like, yeah, you will, bitch.
Yeah, pop in.
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, no, you shitting me, man? Always, dude.
What do you say? Do you want to come in and defend himself? You little piece of.
Yeah, he's gonna choke us out. Sims, you ever laid hands
on... There he is.
Sims, have you ever laid hands on a large black man before?
Nope, that's not what we're talking about right now.
Oh man.
Okay, so what happened?
Okay. So wait a second. Okay, so I kind of contacted a bunch of writers. A couple of them replied to me. And they were pretty popular. I don't want to make names because it doesn't really matter.
Yes.
Those to me. But say the name.
No.
Don't say any names. I'm fucking around. Say any names.
No names. But the point is, one of them, it's been pretty okay. Like saying, after a while, I pitched my idea. They liked it, and they said, okay, I'll work on it a bit, and we will see what we can do. By the way, I also said I can pay whatever, even though at that level, I feel like whatever I offered really didn't matter that much. They also said, it doesn't matter, pay me whatever. Like I don't care about money. That's what they said.
That's flag number one. Like, that is flag number one.
No, but this guy, trust me, it's like really popular. I don't want to make names, but really, they worked on big stuff, like really big. So I was like, yeah, cool, all right. It's gonna be a cool collab. I think I have a lot of ideas. I would like to. I already have some publishers contacted. And so they said, okay, I will work on it. And then they contacted me, and they're like, I got contacted by DC to work on a comic. They actually worked on that. So I cannot work anymore on your project. And I was like, okay. So that was the first writer. Then meanwhile, being contacted by another writer, they contacted me, and they had an idea for my comic. So I was like, all right. It's cool. I also have wrote something, but it's really bad. It's just like some core ideas that I have. If you wanna, of course, you can start from here, but you can also redo everything. If I trust you 100%. So just take my illustrations as a starting point, if anything. Since you contacted me, I assume that you like. And anyways, after this call, I just showed him. I don't know. I made a bunch of panels, test panels. I posted them on Webtoon. They are already there, and I got like 2K readers, like with literally 5 panels.
Nice.
And I was like, yeah. So I was like, I think it's pretty cool. It means that the style works. Of course, there's no story. It's 4 panels. If you want to start from there, though, I think that's the mood that I want to give. And they were like, yeah, sure, cool, all right. They disappeared. Literally, I never heard them again.
They unfollowed you on social media.
Dude, I don't know whatever. Like, the last thing was, okay, I will send you something during the month. Boom, never contacted again. Like,
how long ago was
talking
this?
of 4 months ago, 5 months ago. Literally, I was like, okay. Meanwhile, I tried to keep writing and expand the lore a little bit, try to come up with ideas. But at the end of the day, you need a writer, right, to make a comic. Like you need someone that knows what they're doing. Like it's not, you cannot just become a writer suddenly.
Sims, I'm writing and drawing my own comic book. I'm hardly a writer. You don't need a writer.
Oh, interesting. Eric says,
oh,
Sims.
Wow.
It sounds like Eric's telling you to go for it on your own. Sims.
That's the big look. It's a whole lot to do with like where your headspace is at, right? Okay, so maybe you're not confident or comfortable doing. Is it episodic because you're going to go through Webtoon, right? So if you're not comfortable doing it, forget everything that I'm saying, which is like, yeah, just it's a lot to ask somebody who's not comfortable in this space to just be like, yeah, I guess just go do it on your own. However, if you're running into a situation where like, it seems like all these people are dropping out. And I kind of have a premise of what I want to do. For me, not for you, Sims, but for me, the best thing I ever did was do it on my own so that I could learn and just get better along the way. Because if I immediately thought, well, I can't do this and therefore I won't try, or I'll just reach out to somebody else until I feel more comfortable, I wouldn't have burned the ships during like my trip over to the Americas and learn how to survive on my own. You know what I mean? I would always leave myself sort of like an outlet to be like, somebody else can do this. I'm not as good as they are. Screw that, right? Bring it all in. Have it all, learn how to do it. Even if at the beginning you're going to do it poorly. I suspect that if you take it as seriously as your drawing as a craft, you're going to inherently just get better at it. So just do it. Just fucking be bad in the beginning. Everybody understands that you will be, or you understand that you will be, with the goal of getting better as you progressively go. But to sit there and be like, I can't do this because there's like writers who ghosted me, writers who are like, they seem like they were uninterested, but they also got hired. Now you're at their beck and call. Now you're at the mercy of like whatever their schedule or like their overall attitude and personal conduct will allow for you. That's bullshit. Go do it. Go make a bunch of mistakes.
Yeah, sounds good. It's actually good advice. I should probably just do it myself.
I mean, it's scary, right?
Even poorly.
I mean, that's what
it is.
But I mean, listen, man. You know, as a person who's as capable as you are in your craft, as we all know, you kind of have to suck at first. You know, what's that phrase? Sucking at something is the first step to getting kind of good at something. So
first of all, thank you. But the point is, I really would like the fact that it's like Eric said, like I really have to learn a lot. Like there's a learning curve that I can feel.
Yeah, of course.
Big learning curve. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
and I don't know if you ever worked with somebody like this. If there's something that I can recommend to you, in some capacity, if you're going to spend any kind of money, and you might end up spending a little bit more in your growth to learning, hire an editor. Hire somebody who can look at the words that you're writing versus the story that you're aiming towards, right? Whatever it may. Again, it's difficult for me to understand the nuances of like episodic because even though I draw miniseries, I know that there's a start, middle, and end, right? But bring on an editor that you trust. I'd be like, it takes a little bit of research probably. In that space, I don't know if a lot of people take on editors, but if you want to hold yourself accountable to see whether or not something is good enough or it's really, really poor, somebody who has the best interest of your art, or excuse me, your project, an editor can take a step back and go like, okay, here's what you're trying to say, but here's what you're doing, and here's how you can do that better. Instead of like, at least that way that's what I tried. Oh, is that how you make that better? That's cool. It's effectively like a built-in coach, right?
Oh yeah, attitude. No, editor is
take
important.
Take it with a grain of salt. It may not be useful for you, but that's what
I feel that a lot, because with the editor, I really never thought about that. But when I worked with for Falling in the Blue, the other series that I made with Webtoon, the previous one, I actually had the major flaws was that the editor, in my opinion, was not good enough. And even worse, it was even a worse problem than not having a good writer.
Wow.
Like even worse was having a bad editor.
Yes.
Yikes.
Yeah.
That sucks, man.
Yeah, and sometimes depending on the editor, they could be strong when it comes to like different editors have different strengths, right? Some of them are completely procedural, but some of them understand at the core what you're trying to accomplish thematically, character growth and their arcs and blah, blah, all of those things. You might not find one that's a great fit right away. But if you go take a look at those series that you really like and go like, somebody's got to be editing this book. If no one's not, then good on them. But more often than not, let's say 50% of the time, there's somebody behind the scenes. Like, okay, I think I trust this story. I really like this story, and reach out to them. Don't be beholden to like, somebody else for you to be able to do the creative thing that you want to do. If it's comics, and you're like, hey, writers aren't living up to my expectation in one capacity, whether it be schedule or just quality, don't let that be the thing that holds you back. That's a waste of time.
Yeah.
I'm not saying writers are a waste of time. I'm saying like waiting is a waste of time.
To all the writers out there.
Fuck you. You're replaceable. We're gonna get AI on it.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. No. But I really think so. I mean, I guess that right now I'm already at least trying to write a little bit, to put together the ideas, even if it's not properly writing a script. It's at least like,
May I ask what?
Figuring out what's the direction.
What genre are you working in?
If you're interested in learning, right? Sorry, Mike.
Yeah.
If you're interested in learning, if what you want to do is just draw and let somebody else do the writing heavy lifting, I totally understand that it's critical for you to take that creative that weight, that part of the creative process, and let somebody else lift it. I totally understand. But for me, I want to know how to do that stuff. Even if in the future I don't end up doing it, it's just for me to learn, to be like, oh, I know how that works, and this is how I can be a better contributor to this this collaboration, this creative collaboration. Sorry, Mike, interrupt you.
No. It's just a generic question as to what kind of book Sims is working on.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard to tell because it's mostly based like I made a lot of illustrations about witches, so of course that's I'm developing that as a IP, so kind of makes sense all together. So I'm trying to use also the ghost cats idea. I'm trying to figure out like how to put all those kind of random, not even random, like ideas that I came up with along the way. To be 2 or 3 years that I'm drawing almost always witches, and trying to evolve the aesthetic.
Yes.
And now I'm trying to put it together. So what I came up with, it's pretty simple. At the end of the day, it's basically noticing all the things that I tend to put in the illustrations all the time, which is pretty much always casual girls. The scenarios are always a little bit, punkish, or at least college aesthetic.
Right.
That type of thing. Post adolescence, young adult.
I thought you almost said pasta, and I was like, how very fucking Italian of you to put pasta.
Pasta and pizza. That's what I want in my comic.
I knew it.
And so basically, I wanted to make like a story about young adults, and with where there is magic, of course, and technology at the same time. And then ghost cats have to have a of course a presence in the story. I am oriented as a theme, as a thematic. Of course, romance I think has to be there, because I always draw girls and boys, kind of like in casual looks. So I feel like there is a lot of slice of life involved. So probably some romance has to be in. So probably a little bit of drama, even though I'm not good at drama stuff. Like it's not that I like 90 Day Fiance or stuff like that. But I feel like that's the direction. And as a personal taste, I would like to add a little bit of what's the word? Thriller,
full penetration,
and detective. Yeah, and that full penetration has to be there. So yeah.
I guess, dude, that sounds young adult oriented fantasy, like in the background environment. Involving.
I was hoping you said young adult Orientals. I think he was trending towards that.
Yeah, that's what I was hoping for. It's okay. Listen, he could just put the slant eye in a couple of those broads, and it'll be good.
There it is. Nice knowing you, YouTube. We're gonna get kicked out of this level.
There we go. Get canceled.
Yeah. I've been trying to get canceled for years.
You are you getting any better?
Yeah. No.
Getting canceled.
I'm getting worse.
Yeah.
Hey, by the way, did you know that Skullbash is in this chat and he's taken notes of everything that you just said? So if Which Cat's Oriental suddenly comes out from Skullbash Hero, you know where he got it from.
He's taken everything. He's taken everything that Sim says and he's putting it into Midjourney right now.
How dare you?
Midjourney. Oh yeah. Oh, yo guys, have you had a convo about that already? I assume you did.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I hate to do this to you because I really want to catch up, but I gotta split. I gotta pick up the lady. I gotta go grab her. I know.
Dude. Okay, next time.
Dude, thank you so much. Please don't be a stranger. You are always, as you see, I did not remove your permissions. You still have free reign of this place the same way you did all those days ago.
Oh yeah.
So yeah.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, you're always welcome here.
Yeah. No, I will definitely. I mean, I will tell you more about the crazy things, random.
Please, happy to hear you. All right, I will catch you guys maybe tomorrow or next week. Good night, Sims.